Anybody there?
All right, everybody. Welcome back to this week's edition of So You Want to Be in IT. We're a podcast aimed at those starting their journey out in the vast world of IT. We talk about navigating the world of IT as a beginner, from how to break in, how to climb the ladder, management, politics, literally everything in between, but mainly aimed at the beginner and how to break down some of those high walls that seem to be plaguing the IT industry. We are back for episode 16, I believe this is already. So we are in the new year. For those of you listening, we're recording this on the 4th of January. We had a couple busy weeks here, so we couldn't get a podcast out to you, but we really are back for the new year, have some exciting things to share with you guys. So as always, I'm your host, Pat. You can find me on Twitter at PatAllen182, and you can find the show on Twitter at SYWBIIT. That's the acronym for So You Want to Be in IT. Thanks to Twitter for having a 16 character limit in their handles, and So You Want to Be in IT is 17 characters. So I had to shorten it up a little bit, but that's where you can find us. And as always, my man Dean is back with us to have a little year-end recap here. So what's up, Dean? How you doing?
Hey there. How you doing, Pat? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys out there in Vegas doing your thing. And yeah, so here we are, like I said, episode 16. This has been a little bit of a crazy ride for, I think, both of us. And to be honest with you, this episode is just going to be like a little year-in review, what we learned, how we did, and we're just a short one today from us, just to give our thanks and just to be transparent with you guys and be upfront and be as real as we can. Dean, I'm just gonna talk for a minute or two, just from some of my personal experiences doing this podcast.
Absolutely. Go for it.
And then we can jump in or turn the mic over and we can have a discussion about it. But to be honest with you, Dean and I, we started this well before we released any episodes. Dean, I think you and I met a couple of years back, and I reached out to you about doing this, and you jumped all over it and didn't give it a second thought, which I thought was cool because, newsflash, Dean and I have never met in person. We literally live on the opposite sides of the country. Dean, I started to follow you on Instagram because we were both in the same Cisco circles. And the Cisco stuff, we were both Cisco brethren, if you will. And I thought, this guy's pretty cool. So we started following him, and I was low-key stalking you from your Instagram, and I thought, that guy's pretty cool. So as I went through people in my head to co-host and who could bring the most value, like your name popped up at the top of the list. So I was like, let me ask, and you jumped at it. So I appreciate you coming in here and jumping and taking a chance on somebody you've never actually met in person. So that's number one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's a cool thing. It's definitely a new thing in the age of computing and networking, and this great thing we've got the internet to allow us to share ideas and collaborate and do these fun and interesting projects together. Yeah, I'm excited that you reached out, and it's been fun. It's been definitely a great time so far, and I've learned tons from our guests we've had on the show. Learn a lot from just listening and asking questions from different people in different working environments, and it's definitely helped my career and solidified just more of overall knowledge and requisite in the IT industry. And people at work and friends and family are also really hyped about just giving back and just talking about experiences I may have had or what we've shared. So it's been pretty epic. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. So like I said, we recorded the first, 5 or 6 episodes like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been about that.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
and we put it on the shelf for a while because we got busy and other things took precedence, and then we picked it up again and said, yeah, we worked really hard on this. Why don't we put it out and see what's out there and see if people love it or hate it? And apparently you guys loved it. So, which is still wild to me, to be honest. Who thought talking into a mic would reach so many people and it would be part of this community that we've been graciously accepted into? And so we want to thank everybody that's listened. We want to thank everyone that's interacted with us on our socials, Twitter being we get the most action on Twitter. It sounds weird, but Twitter has been our place where we landed the interaction home, if you will. But yeah, people email us questions and whatnot. And obviously we have the Discord hanging out there. But yeah, to be honest with you, I never thought it would be this, I don't want to call it successful. That sounds like we're tooting our own horn, but it's given us a space to talk about our experiences and our lifestyle as IT guys and our, again, experiences and trials and tribulations, and just trying to help some of those folks that are looking to break in, whether that's from, right out of college, or you're trying to pivot careers from another industry, whatever. We're here to help. This is our mentorship to give back to whoever is going to listen. And you guys have been listening. Their feedback's been great. So we just want to say thanks. And the year in wrap that we've done, just say thanks for listening. And it's been a really short time, right? We only launched this show at the beginning of September. We launched it the Monday after Labor Day. So in what, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is, we almost have 700 listens, right? So and numbers, the numbers game is always a measuring stick. But to be honest with you, I do it because Dean and I do it because it's fun. We think we're providing value to somebody. Yeah, numbers are great and people are listening and whatnot, but that's not the true reason why we do it. We have fun. There's a purpose to it. We're adding value, at least we
And it's
think.
something to offset tax time.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, that's a good one too. Yes, exactly. But yeah, we're adding value and we're being part of the community, and that's what we've been striving for. And here we are. So it's really been good. So I don't know, Dean, you want to add anything to that, or?
Nothing more than what I've pretty much said. Yeah, it's been absolutely phenomenal. This year, 2022, we've got some new guests lined up, which is going to be phenomenal. More in our space, more out of our space. So we're going to be covering people in the networking field, more in the security, and more in data center, as well as we're going to be looking into cryptocurrencies and NFTs. I've been working on a technical blog for a couple of months now. So I have some labs and things like that I've been working on, which I'll be releasing on the blog and stuff like that, possibly a newsletter soon. So yeah, there's going to be some interesting things coming along.
Yep. Some good things coming up from us. Like Dean said, he's got his own blog, doing his own thing, so that we're going to tie that into the show here. I've seen some of it. It's phenomenal. So we can't wait to share with you guys. So when it's live, there will be a link from our website right to the blog. Certainly check that out. Use it as a resource. And then, I don't know, Dean, we want to see who wants to do like a guest blog with it. I think that'd be cool. It was like a shared space.
The blog's all about just like engineering. Sometimes I do some projects, like home projects or projects in the enterprise space that it might be like a novel solution or something really interesting that I've learned, or a cert that I'm studying for, and I've pretty much done some labs and then gone beyond those labs and broke it a few times and put it back together and just seeing what the experience is. Yeah, just sharing all those thoughts, collecting all that information. It's going to be helpful for studying or just a general browsing if you like the technology networking space.
Yep. Yeah, way cool. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, follow us on Twitter. We'll certainly let you know when that's out. And of course, here on the show as well, since this is a podcast after all. Yeah, so we got that coming up. Like Dean said, we have some crazy good guests coming up. Most of the guests have actually reached out to us, want to be on the show, and they're part of the IT community, right? So whether that's on Twitter, whether that's on email, things of that nature. It really feels good to have people reach out to us and want to be part of our space. I guess that means we're doing something, right? Stay tuned for those. Again, but they're all from all walks of life, right? It's not just technical people, it's other people that fall in to the IT space, but don't necessarily do the nuts and bolts. So you have folks like process folks, right? So some of the medium to larger size businesses have people dedicated just to process and following change management, and people that are just in control of knowledge bases and ticketing systems and things of that nature. That all falls under, or at least it I don't want to say falls under, but it definitely it interacts with the IT space as well. Project management's another one, right? We have some project managers lined up to come on and tell us what they do and how they interact with IT. And
The other side.
yeah, so it's just an absolute ton of things that IT touches and works with side by side. So we want to introduce them to all of you because, like I said, the more guests we get from all walks of IT life, it clears your decision of what avenue you want to go down, right? So you say, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. Hey, I'd like to learn more about that because I heard Pat and Dean talk about it. We're just trying to expose you to all the walks of life out there, not just the bits and bytes, if you will, of the technical space. So we're pretty proud of that. I did want to take a minute to mention a few folks that are that have helped this podcast get along, whether it's on the back end, whether it's helping us reach out to you guys, or the structure of the show, or just tips and tricks. Have been doing podcasts longer than us, and we're piggybacking off of that. I want to mention four really cool guys that Dean and I have got to meet and talk with, and we're in the same space. They have their own podcast. It's called The Art of Network Engineering, and those guys are really killing it. So go look them up. They have a phenomenal show. So they've helped quite a bit on the back end of just trying to get the show more structured and giving us some tips and tricks. Shout out to Dira. We had her on the show a few weeks ago. CCIE by 30. She is phenomenal. She's a phenomenal Twitter follow. We chat in the DMs quite a bit about different things and training that's out there. So shout out to that. And if you've not listened to that podcast, give that one a shout right after this one, because that was one of our better ones of this year. I really enjoyed that one. And the other one I want to mention too, there's tons more. It's just these are the three that sort of popped into my head. There is a lady by the name of Lexi. She goes by the handle on Twitter, Track It Pacer, which I find hysterical. She's a really good Twitter follow as well. She streams on Twitch when she can. So she is also a content creator in this space, not necessarily podcast, but she does a Twitch stream that is really resourceful as well. And she's been really helpful for us trying to reach more people and how to, and she's a technical whiz. That lady she's crazy. So go follow her on Twitter. So just a couple of people, and there's plenty more. I don't want to give too much away, because the one I want to mention, he's going to be a guest on this show in the next couple of weeks. So we'll keep that in our back pocket, but you'll definitely know who he is and talk about him in the next upcoming couple of weeks, because he'll be here. So I'm going to keep that a bit of a secret. But getting back to some of the things where the podcast is heading, we just want to, again, we want to bring value. We want to make sure things are relevant. We want to make sure you guys are getting something out of this and listening to us talk and sometimes babble on. We wanted to bring a thing to the table where we had the idea of doing like resume reviews, and that's going to be done via our Discord channel. If you're a new guy or gal trying to break in, but you don't have any technical experience to write on your resume, but just for Dean and I, something to look at, to say, hey, this looks good, etc., etc., we'd be more than willing to help with some of that and just some of the keywords and things of that nature. We had Mike on last episode. He's a technical recruiter ultimately for Microsoft, and he gave us some good tips on that and the importance of a LinkedIn profile, things of that nature. So even if
you gave some
you're,
good tips, some very
yeah,
good ones.
absolutely. So shout out to Mike. Even if you're still green, if you will, in the network space, and I should say IT space, I got network on the brain. If you're new in the IT space and you don't have anything to put on an actual resume, all hope is not lost, sort of thing. There's other things you can do to sort of get your face to the front of the pile, if you will. So yeah, we're looking to do some resume reviews via Discord. So stay tuned for that. Some more info coming out on that shortly. And then, Dean, you and I have been talking about this for a while, and we're still on the fence of yay or nay, or the logistics of some of this. Those Art of Network Engineering guys really helped shape this as well. But we possibly want to do a live show in the near future. Using this platform that we use to record. We use Riverside.fm. So shout out to those guys. This is a great platform for that. And they've come out with some crazy good features in the last couple of months. So we're going to start taking advantage of some of them here in the next couple of months for us. So we want to try to dip our toes in the water of a live show. Basically, Riverside gives us this platform to chat, and Dean and I are looking at each other at the moment because we like to look at our pretty faces as we talk. But we currently don't record video for the podcast. We don't have a YouTube or anything like that. That's something else we're talking about. But the Riverside gives us a platform where we give you guys a link. You join the show. It's a chat style, Zoom style, whatever you want to call it, chat live show. So you can chat us questions and be a part of the show as we're talking live. Talking about that as well. I'm excited for that one to see how that goes and see where that goes and what kind of doors that opens, and if you guys like that. And then, Dean, like I said, we mentioned your blog already, so that's cool.
That's coming up. Yeah, that's in the works. So that should be published in the next, I want to say by the end of the month, I should be able to get that off the fly. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, definitely add towards it and get a couple of articles out. Should be able to get that by the end of the month. Yeah, watch this space and I'll keep you guys posted.
Sweet. Yeah, can't argue that. And then the last thing we want to mention as far as where we're heading is obviously we're always looking for some sponsors and to basically do giveaways, right? So every penny that this podcast earns, which at the moment it isn't a lot, trust me, it goes towards this podcast. So, dude, I hear you laughing, but legit, like we're looking, for sponsors, and that drives the giveaways that we can do to you guys. Obviously, us recording and putting out consistent content, things of that nature, it's not free. We're actually in the hole money wise, so it takes money to run this stuff. Any little bit that we can get is great. We do have a Patreon that you guys can sign up at and give a couple bucks or whatever. And so if you want to support the show, look for a link in the show notes to our Patreon and all of our socials as well. Every penny that we earn from this show goes to this show. And as far as creating better content, the better it keeps the guests coming, keeps the giveaways coming, things of that nature. And we would like to start doing a little bit more of this, but we're constrained. I don't want to say constraint, that's not the right word, but it's just not in the cards at the moment because there's other things that drive different things. So yeah, so giveaways are another big one we're going to try to do a lot of this year. We're talking to a couple of sponsors, so we're just trying to get a couple last minute details ironed out and whatnot. So most of it will be affiliate style links. We got our own custom link to product X. We'll give it to you guys. You click on it. We earn a small commission because you bought it through our link. Yeah, that sort of thing. Look forward to that and supporting some really good stuff out there to kind of keep this cog in the wheel going in the IT world. That was it. That's really all we had. 20-minute, real short one for you guys today. Just a year in review. Again, it wasn't a full year. It's roughly 4 or 5 months, somewhere in there, since we launched. Next year will be a better gauge of a full year, if you will.
More of an end of year review.
Yeah, end of year
Yeah,
is probably
yeah.
a good way to put that.
You got anything planned for the upcoming year, 2022?
I got certs.
Any more goals?
Certs on the brain, man. Certs on the brain. So,
Okay. Anything in particulars?
yeah, I'm studying for the Palo Alto. I always get the acronym wrong. PCNSA. Yeah, I think that's it. PCNSA exam, which is
Nice.
equivalent to the CCNA, if you will, in the Cisco world, sort of entry level, that kind of thing. It's strictly on Palo Alto and how to do its product. So that's on the 17th of January. So that's just under 2 weeks away.
Okay.
It was 2 weeks from Monday. So I got that. And then the next one I want to do is taking a page out of your book, Dean, and doing the CCNP S Core, if you will. I think that's what they call it now. Doing that, I'd like to do the S Core, and then I'd like to do the Cisco ICE specialty that actually gives me the CCNP security certification. And then if there's time left, if I still have some sort of sanity left in me, I would shoot for the AWS Solutions Architect. I have not taken an actual cert test since 2018. Literally from, I don't know, probably when I seriously started doing certs from like 2008 to 2018. So I did 10 years of certs, and I was on that hamster wheel for 10 years and never got off. So I needed a break. I needed to recharge the batteries. And we got kids now, that kind of thing. There's some other things that obviously take my time, but I like doing this podcast because the kid's asleep right now. So that's always positive. No, but I feel like I'm in a good headspace to get back into the cert game. And especially with the encouragement we've gotten from the IT community and the folks that we follow and folks that we've gotten in touch with, there's a massive amount of wealth and knowledge out there to take certs to just gain knowledge and never stop learning. So I feel like now is a good time to jump back into it, talk to some people, some main players that have been through it, been down the road, can give me tips and things of that nature, and then knock those out. So I get that 3 certs in 3 different vendors is a lofty goal for 365 days, but we'll see what happens, and I'm stoked for it. And like I said, I'm back in the right mindset to do certs now and to actually buckle down and study, and I feel a little recharged because I had 2 weeks off of work. My place shuts down the week between Christmas and New Year, so I don't have to burn any personal time for that. They just basically say go home. And then I had 4 personal days to burn, or else I would have lost them at the beginning of the new year. So I basically worked the Monday before Christmas and been off ever since. So yeah, so I'm like recharged. I feel pretty good. So I feel like now is a good spot to jump back in. And those are the 3. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Nice, good stuff.
What are you doing?
For me, I got to finish out this CCNP security. So I got to schedule my 300 715.
Nice.
That's the ICE one.
Nice.
And there's a couple I've just got to finish out some labs on INE, and then I managed to get hold of a Cisco lab as well. So I built a nice machine at home. So I'm just going to go through those labs and see what I can figure out on that, and then hopefully shoot for the exam. I've completely finished reading the book. So once I got my MP set, the plan is to go for the CCIE security. So I just want to exam for that in June. So that's the plan. But I don't know. I'm having 2 minds about going for the IE security.
Yeah.
I want to I want to go for it. But then I don't know. I'm just like, it's going to be so much. There's so much technology surrounded around that.
It's a bear.
Like the product base is quite extensive.
Yeah.
And I'm good on like maybe 2 out of maybe the 6 products they have, but it's ICE, like ASA,
Yep.
WSA,
WSA. Yep.
ESA,
Yep. Email
and,
security. Yep.
and then there's Cisco Umbrella.
Umbrella.
I'm just like, yeah, so I don't use all that every day. So it's, I
It's
mean,
information overload at that point.
yeah. And then it's just, there's or not every, but there are a lot of companies other than Cisco use their whole portfolio.
Right.
It's extremely doubtful. I
That's
don't know.
a
I don't know if it's worth it personally.
Yeah.
I know the numbers are worth it, like just like for my own pride and sake kind of deal. But
Sure.
I don't know in industry like to work that hard. Is it worth? I don't know. I'm still weighing that part up.
Yeah, you almost have to be with an employer that pushes you towards that, or there's a benefit for the employer once you
Yeah.
get that,
But
right?
when was this like? I'm pretty young
Yeah.
in terms of like my career. I'm only 35.
La-di-da. No, just kidding.
But if you look at it in that sort of sense, am I always going to be working with Cisco gear? If I'm training to be working for the next 35 years and I retire at 70, am I realistically going to be only working with Cisco gear? Very doubtful.
Right. Yeah.
So
No, I agree.
That's why I'm just like, I don't know about that. I don't want to pigeonhole myself. So
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't know.
legit concern. I get it.
So that's why being more vendor agnostic, as in what you're doing, and going from different types of certs or different types of vendors, you become more of a rounded out player, and you can integrate those systems together. But in respects to just pigeonholing yourself just to Cisco stuff, I don't know. I'm not saying there's not a need or a market for it. I just don't know if it's something I want to, because once you're a CCIE, that's great. And I love that. But you really are in that space now, aren't you? Like you're like legit in that Cisco space.
Correct.
Not saying you're not as much as before, but like you're going to be touching more of that gear usually than anything else, I would have thought. And the jobs and stuff like that you're be going for, I would have thought would be more geared towards that.
Yeah, so, you're almost an architect at that level.
Yeah, and you're going to be architecting their product, aren't you? You're not going to be.
Yeah,
it's not going to be like, oh, you're going to be touching Palo or Windows servers or.
Yeah, you're not architecting Juniper things.
No, no one's going to even ask you Juniper things. With a CCIE, it's just like Cisco stuff, and it's just in that field kind of deal. So whatever they got it in. But I wouldn't ask my CCIE friend about Juniper stuff because that's not his wheelhouse, is it?
Right.
Even if he does know RNS.
Yeah, I hear you. No, that's a good point. Yeah, you almost have to be in the right environment to make it worth your while, sort of thing. We have a whole episode on our Cisco troubles and trials and tribulations. If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to that one too. It was a fun
quite
one too.
Deeply, yeah. But no, it's just a huge concern of mine. So I do the labs that go up to that level just to get understanding and stuff like that. But I just don't know. In order to do the CCO, you have to not just learn the technology, but do it fast and be really quick on the keyboard. And I just don't know if I want to train to that extensive level for that. So I don't know. I'm still in two minds.
There's a trade-off there, yeah.
Yeah. But right now, the goal is just to round up the MP security and then poke around and see what takes my fancy from that. Really.
Just come work with me. We can do Palo and AWS together.
I might look into Palo. What else is some? Yeah, Palo has definitely sparked my interest, but I think
I'll tell you what, man, I love
the cloud. Is definitely
cloud's another one.
And with that one, I don't know even where to go with that. Do you go AWS? Do you go Azure?
The big three are going to be AWS, Azure, and GCP, right? Google Cloud Platform. So
yeah, but realistic, who uses? Like when it comes to a job, what's the ticket?
AWS is your ticket.
It is, isn't it? It has more people use it, don't they?
Yep. Yeah. AWS is your ticket because it was the first one to make wave and the first one to the scene. So.
Yeah, it's what everyone wants, isn't it? It's like what everyone. And then even if you've got an AWS, I feel like people will take that and just tailor it, even if you went to Google or Azure.
Yep. I would probably, if I was a betting man, I would probably do AWS, Azure, and then GCP in that order. Because I think what's going to happen later down the road, and this is just me talking out my wazoo, only being at a company that's used cloud since I've been there. So September, I've been there 4 months, 5 months, something like that. I feel like there's going to be a lot of cross breeding there. So there's going to be multi-cloud infrastructure. So you're going to have some space in AWS and you're going to have some space in Azure in the event that AWS has a massive meltdown, which has happened in the last month or so. Like
Oh, you're talking
AWS,
about the federal government.
yeah, has AWS has had 2 or 3 outages. So I would not be shocked if more businesses start to spread out their cloud. So it's not so you're
Oh, I think they're making that a federal requirement.
yeah.
Yeah, like
So all
with
your
that
eggs
last
aren't in the
outage.
yeah.
They were
Yeah.
just like, we can't. It's got too big now. So
Yep.
yeah, I think that is going to come.
Yeah, I feel like
But
companies aren't gonna put all
I
their
feel
eggs
it's
in
going to
one
be.
basket.
I think it's going to be a mix of that and a mix of on-prem. But you can't.
Yep.
It's just you can't go. You can't. It just shows you like
Yep.
anything else in this
Yep.
industry, you can't put your eggs in one basket.
One
You can't
basket,
go in one.
can't.
You can't go for one provider.
Yep.
You shouldn't really go for one manufacturer, to be honest. I actually like mix. I learned that in the UK. A company I work with, Orange/Nokia, they use mixed gear.
Yep.
And the reason they did that was due to the fact that if a company went bankrupt, or like let's say Cisco like ceased to exist, you're screwed if all your switches and stuff like that are all Cisco, and you can't order or expand on your network. If you've got mixed gear, your interoperability of different hardware and network and equipment allows for more strength and a bigger sort of enterprise. So in that respect, I try to keep my equipment mixed. Projects and stuff.
It's enough. It's enough just to give it a mix. To that point, Dean, if there was a bug in Cisco gear that affected multiple platforms and you're all Cisco shop, you're in trouble. That's a massive patch job that you're running around trying to, plug holes in the ceiling that's leaking, that kind of thing.
And we're not even talking about the service contract yet. So
yeah, exactly. So there's multiple reasons for multiple homed things, but I think you're going to see either your prod is going to be in AWS and like your DR is going to be in Azure or GCP, and they're going to sync. They're going to either through a tunnel or something, they're going to sync together. And so if AWS is a massive outage, you can just flop to Azure and pray that your DR works.
Have heartbeats across the network. So
exactly. And again, don't take that as the Bible, because I know just enough to be dangerous about the cloud, but that makes logical sense in my head on how to mitigate putting all your eggs in the AWS basket.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah.
Now, there may be more technical things behind that. I don't know, or logistics on how to make that work. It may or may not. That's just how it flows out in my head.
You can do private clouds as well.
Private cloud,
yeah, you can mix.
There was that tangent I talked about that sometimes we go on, but that was good knowledge. So again, massive thanks to everybody who's listening and who has listened. So obviously tell a friend. Dean, you good? We get out of here?
Yeah, we can get out of here. Yeah, thank you for listening, guys. We appreciate your time and all your downloads and listens. And if there's anything you'd like us to maybe cover again, or a topic we need to delve in a little more, feel free to hit us on the Discord channel, or DM me on my LinkedIn. Also, that's just my regular name, Dean McKenzie, or you can find me at on Instagram at Millennium Burst, or you can find me through Pat, and he's everywhere. So
sometimes a little too everywhere.
So feel free to contact us, and we're here to help you guys break this industry, allow you to be a part of such a great community. People always giving back, and we would just like to do our part. So thank you again for listening.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. And that's a good segue, because we actually, as part of the new year, and try to it helps us out tremendously on what you guys like, don't like. We actually made a survey of a couple of questions, maybe I think there's 10 on there, just various questions that help us tweak the show a little bit. If you've listened, obviously you are, since you're hearing this, and you want to be a part of the show or have a say in the show, what goes into the show, let us know. That's at www. It's SYBIIT. Again, the acronym for So You Want to Be an IT. I had to do it myself. SYWBIIT.com/survey. So go take that survey. I know, it's weird. I couldn't think of anything else. I'm out of the cool loop. So again, the link will be in the show notes as well if you want to participate in the survey. Again, all the information is private. It's anonymous. We don't know who you are. It just tells us totals, but asks things like what day of the week you listen and things of that nature. Just helps us tweak the show a little bit to stay relevant and still give you guys some value. I'll be sure to check that out. There's also a link on our website, so you want to be an IT.com. You can subscribe to the show from all your favorite platforms right from there: iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or just RSS feed is there as well. So if you could throw us a rating on iTunes, that's always nice. That fools with iTunes and how it presents us, so we get to the top of the list with more ratings we have. And then also simply tell a friend, right? I think the tell a friend way has really helped us. So I feel like
Word of
that's,
mouth.
yes, I love it. It's still the best way. So yeah, tell a friend. That would be awesome. That helps us out too. We want to talk to everybody. Our DMs are always open. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram. The Twitter is at SYWBIIT. And then Instagram is at So You Want to Be an IT. So it's the full name on Instagram. And then Facebook.com/So You Want to Be an IT. Again, the Discord server is out there for you guys. It's actually, we've shortened that as well. Gave you a better link. I'll tell you here, and it'll also be in the show notes. SYWBIIT.com/Discord. So that is the invite that's open to you guys. Come say hi. So we're always looking for people on Discord, and we're going to be driving things through Discord a lot more with the resume reviews and the live show. We'll probably take some questions from a Discord channel in there.
If you just want to hang out,
come hang out. I'm on Discord all day, so it's all good.
Yeah, just hang out, come check out. You want to check us out? Yeah, why not?
Yep. So it's all good. We're there hanging out, and that's it. So we'll see you guys next week. I think it's Dean and I next week, and then the guest start. Be sure to check us out.
Those guests roll it.
That's it, man. We got them. We're booked through February, so it's all good. Yeah, come check us out next week. We'll have a topic ready for you guys, and I think I have a good topic, so I'll build some suspense. You guys can chew on that for a little bit, and we talk next week. So again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Is there anybody there?